foods, and Paradise Beverages.
Mobile squad unit tasked to maintain order in Yangoru Saussia. Hides PDL7 promised 6.5 million kina payout. And 20-year-old follows fashion dreams.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Sunday's news. It has been 16 days since news of the two boats that went missing between Medang and Manus were first reported. Manus Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu said the two boats left Medang on December 28 last year, but never made it to Manus. Families of the passengers had sent a distress call to shipping vessels travelling between Manus and Medang to keep an eye out for the missing boats. PPC Yapu said the last contact made by people on the missing boats was near Karkar in Medang. The police units, Mobile Squad 13, deployed to East Sepik, have been tasked to bring to order lawlessness along the Sepik Highway, in particular the Yangoru Saussia district. MP Richard Maro issued a warning to his people, saying a zero-tolerance approach will be used on lawbreakers. He added that MS-13 unit has a reputation in fighting crime and all criminals must surrender.
Minister Mauro gave clear instructions to the Morobe-based mobile squad unit.
All the rascals, they all have to be cleaned out.
His instructions are somewhat of a warning to his people. Obey the law or face the consequences.
And any report come, pick up Yangoru, Sanat Blockout, lock up, borrow.
His remark comes at a crucial time where the district is preparing for the construction phase of the multi-million kina Sepik Plains agriculture project, which will begin next month.
Because there are foreign investors coming into our district and our province for the first time, we have to make sure security is not compromised in any way. So, apart from polishing the district, one of your primary responsibilities is to secure that project. That's the national government key economic impact project.
The minister also challenged the MS unit to act as a state operational unit without fear or favor.
All MS go compromise, womanize, they get money, they become friends with people in the villages. I don't want to hear that about squad 13.
The MS-13 takes over from Port Moresby's MS-4. They have been tasked to provide security and policing along the Sepik Plains, including other parts of East Sepik.
With this team, we will do our best. When I'm something Yangoru Saussia by giving, by me plan two by giving, it go back long people belong Yangoru Saussia. Long kissing me plakam, we will show them that we do the best policing and we will do it in Yangoru Saussia.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
Australian-funded roadworks to maintain more than 120 kilometres of the Sepik Highway is progressing. The 20 million kina project includes replacing of culverts, patching of potholes and full-width pavement repairs through to 2020. Australian Minister Councillor Benedict David says this will improve the condition of the road while extending its life cycle. Initial work to clear the roadsides is already making travel safer for pedestrians and vehicles using the Sepik Highway. The project is being delivered through the Papua New Guinea Australia Transport Sector Support Program. Resource owners of Hyde's PDL7 in Hela are hoping to receive a payment of 6 million kina from Department of Petroleum and Energy tomorrow. PDL7 Chairman Eric Ako says over the past 3 years, a sum of 35 million kina categorized as project security funds have been diverted by state agencies. He says DPE must keep its promise and pay the landowners tomorrow.
In the past 2 years, a faction of PDL7 landowners in the Hyde's PNG LNG project area have been in and out of the court while trying to protect a 15 million payment as project security funds. Since then, bills have continued to climb. Several consultation meetings have been conducted to pave way to settle the landowners. However, nothing positive has stemmed out of the discussions. According to the Tuguba landowners, DPE has promised a 6 million payment and it dues tomorrow, the 14th of January.
A payment to be released tomorrow as per our meeting of 19 December. That's the deadline the department has given us. That's the assurance Petroleum Department through Secretary.
It's a similar story for resource owners in the PNG LNG projects. Benefits in monetary value under the UBSA and LBBSA have not been honored by the state. On 21st November 2018, delays in settling the bills resulted in the rampage by angry landowners at the DPE office.
I think I'm pretty sure that tomorrow we will receive good news from Department of Petroleum regarding our bills.
Apart from the 6 million promised, a missing 10 million earmarked as project security funds was processed by the banks to an entity known as the Heights PDL7 LLG SPA. The landowners claim the entity is a fake authority sucking money from the resource owners.
And this is for the people of Heights PDL7 area, not from outsiders to come and influence to get power and go into some of the boats like MRDC or Kumul Petroleum.
The 6 million was assured by the acting secretary of DPE following a meeting on the 19th of December 2018. Jack Lopave Jr., National EMTV News.
The Central Provincial Disaster Office has recorded 7 deaths during the heavy rains and floods experienced in the province in the past 2 weeks. The statistics were collected after a team from the Disaster Office visited the areas that were affected by flooding.
The Kairuku-Hiri district was the most affected district, but the district with the highest death toll was Goilala. The areas which were affected by the flood include Laloki and Makeo villages, especially those near the Hiritano Highway. Last Sunday, a team from the Provincial Disaster Office visited affected communities and declared a state of emergency.
The team police officers also supporting us and administration behind us in looking into the disaster. Out there in the districts, we have the district CEOs and the disaster committees assessing the situation and providing us a brief. In terms of communication, we have a direct communication with disaster team on the ground and district administration. So that's basically in terms of our preparedness. Provincial government has given us a budgetary support, allocation of 500,000, and we're looking towards increasing the budget should we need additional funding. So.
The floods swept through the food gardens and destroyed homes and properties. While clean drinking water is still a concern, most people in Central are rebuilding their lives.
We are appealing to our people to report any emergency case, especially life-saving, life-threatening cases, to the district. Nearest authority to them is the district, and that the district will alert us. And we stand by in any medevac evacuation. So.
Meanwhile, the Provincial Disaster Office has commenced assisting those affected with relief supplies. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
You're watching Sunday's News. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Stay tuned.
Are you serious? Is this the fastest you can go? Get out of here. Internet speed with Telecom PNG. I repeat, Telecom PNG is the fastest. The fastest here in PNG. So connect today to experience the difference. Telecom PNG, always there.
Share the fun with Big Boy Gum. Enjoy the colorful thrill. In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
At IPI Catering, we understand the intricacies of the environments in which we work, providing innovative, fresh and creative catering solutions. Our experience and commitment is a winning combination, delivering great food anywhere and anytime. IPI Catering, part of the IPI group of companies.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the Highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge all for your needs, our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference center that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.
Hello everyone and welcome to Good Morning PNG. I'm Taz.
And I'm Shaz. That's right, PNG. For the first time in our history, we are bringing you breakfast television.
Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Wake up to the latest news, views, sports, weather, entertainment, feature stories, plus much more.
And it won't be just us. We have a team.
Oh yes, Mary Batula from the news team.
Peter Pusal with all the commentary on sports.
Entertainment with Ike Pakop.
And our very own weatherman, Richard Magay.
Oh, I can't wait, Shaz. This is going to be good.
Every Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. See you then.
Welcome back to the news. The Constitutional Law Reform Commission, CLRC, concluded its public consultation on review of the organic law on national and local level government elections in the Inga capital on Friday. The terms of references for public consultation include electoral roll system, polling, electoral boundaries, nomination fees, election petitions, and voter identification system, among others. The CLRC will come up with draft legislations, including amendments to the existing electoral laws for Parliament to approve for implementation. Whether or not the changes will be implemented in the next election depends on how fast the CLRC's work is affected by MPs in Parliament. The nationwide consultative meeting is headed by Hanganofi MP Robert Atiafa as chairman, with 5 commissioners and a group of technical officers. 20-year-old Josie Nicholas, PNG's youngest designer and the hand behind the Miss PNG 2018 local design, is optimistic in supporting women and promoting women in clothing wear. Josie, a second-year business studies student at Divinewood University, is looking forward to complete her studies and be a successful businesswoman. She wants to help grow the fashion industry in PNG.
So we're starting small and later branch out.
Little did she know that one day her taste of fashion and sewing will have the chance to be displayed on the national and international platform. Josie, the local designer for Miss Medeng and Miss PNG 2018, says it was a dream come true for her as her name was announced Miss PNG Official Designer 2018.
Auntie Molly O'Rourke, she announced me as Deoshina's official Miss Medeng Resort Designer. I was speechless. I didn't say anything. I was so overwhelmed with joy. I just kept quiet.
Josie says her biggest achievement is having Leoshina career, where her designs and be crowned Miss Medeng and second, the Miss PNG. Leoshina is Josie's best friend since attending the Marineville Secondary and also the Divinewood University together.
I knew I somehow got into sewing and knew everything about clothes and wanted to just make something happen. So it was my passion. It started and it built, and then it went for the past 2 years in high school. I started sewing and selling for the fun of it because I love fashion. So I just did something about it, but I didn't think it would take me this far.
Josie's mom, Francisca Nicholas, expressed the same joy, saying, Josie's dream is building on, and she has gone beyond what is expected.
And she herself has gone ahead and looked for some avenues to get the stall, and We have got one already. That's the Miss PNG stall at Vision City, which we should start putting some of this on display next week. And we're looking at that as a start, but we're looking at bigger things coming up because right now we're getting the stocks that are from the shops, but we're looking at producing our own fabrics in the future with our own local designs. And we want to integrate culture, our own cultures into the modern style. So those are the big things that we are looking forward to in the future. And then we should have a big shop where, like, we want to compete with Jack's at the moment. So that's a dream in future.
Her design inspiration comes from PNG's unique culture and traditional attires, especially birds. She said fashion is all about expression when it comes to ladies' point of view.
My designs, I study the PNG culture and I love everything about our culture, and you know how it's so unique and complex, and how during cultural shows we come up with all these we have this wide variety of, you know, provinces and their different attires and the unique designs they have in them. I just love our culture and I studied to get my inspiration from there. And also I love the plants and nature itself, and how we have like unique species that have extraordinary designs if you guys check them out, and plants too.
The family are now planning to have a shopping space available and have their own fabric designs integrating the unique PNG culture. Amanda Rimur, National EMTV News.
Hargi Oil Palm Company in West New Britain is on standby to fix the collapsed Ivule Bridge. According to a local news agency, Hargi is waiting for the Works Department to take lead. General Manager Graham King says restoration will progress only if the rains stop. West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutaval urged authorities in government to build a permanent bridge to withstand forces of nature. The travelling public is currently doing wet crossing. Ivule Bridge connects Kimbe and Biala and also links to the New Britain Highway that connects East and West New Britain. The Catholic Church in Lae is mourning the death of retired Bishop late Christian Bluin, who passed away yesterday. He collapsed during a visit to Markham and was rushed to the Engau Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Yesterday, Catholic parishioners who heard of the late bishop's passing flocked to the St. Mary's Cathedral in Lae's top town. There, they paid their respects and took his body to the Glen Rowan Funeral Home. According to Father Arnold Schmidt, the parish priest of the St. Mary's Cathedral, the late Bishop Bluin had a stroke in January last year and survived after undergoing a heart operation. Yesterday he was at Markham for a meeting when he collapsed. The late retired bishop served as the bishop in Lae for 11 years until his retirement last year. He died at the age of 77.
And he had got a new heart valve clap, and so he had recovered quite well. He almost died in this procedure, but he recovered. So and lately now he was tired again, and I think he had now again a heart attack.
The southern parts of PNG have been declared a disaster zone after the country was lashed by devastating rain and winds in the aftermath of Cyclone Penny. At least 11 people died in the wild weather and tens of thousands more are being affected. Here's ABC with this report.
From the sky, the devastation is clear. On the ground, people are coming to grips with the damage. The water was up to Mona Wiana's waist this morning.
Strong wind with rain and thunder, and most of our banana gardens, all the bananas fell down, affected all our gardens. All our gardens are underwater right now. We don't have any food to eat.
It could be weeks before they can replant.
We are hoping that the government can send some relief.
Charles Ezekiel wasn't so lucky. This is all that remains of his home.
By standing outside and looking at the house, I mean, that's where me and my family slept in it. So our hearts were broken.
This house is one of 50 believed to have been destroyed, but the full extent of the damage is still unknown.
It is strong wind that caused trees to fall and already taken 3 lives.
Government officials took to the air today to see the scale of the damage. As Tropical Cyclone Penny passed eastward over the Gulf of Carpentaria last week, its presence enhanced monsoonal rains and gale force winds, which lashed parts of PNG and continued to intensify as the week went on. The whole central province, which surrounds Port Moresby, has been declared a disaster zone. With weather forecasters saying the worst has now passed, locals will be hoping there won't be any more damage to assess in coming days.
You're at National EMTV News. When we come back, we'll take a look at stories making headlines overseas. Stay with us.
Share the fun with Big Boy Gum and enjoy the colorful thrill. Flavor, surprise, and chewy excitement. You feel happy, you know you will. Drop some fun, old or young, yeah. Come on, everyone, go Big Boy Bubble Gum.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the Highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge, all for your needs. Our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference center that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Bomb chicka wow wow. Bomb chicka wow wow. Bomb chicka wow wow. Wow wow.
We've improved the formula. New links with added.
Bomb chicka wow wow.
I love the way you taste. I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true kind.
I love the quality.
I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true kind.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind.
Let's sing it again.
I love my true kind. I love my true kind. PNG's rice, the very best rice, 'cause we all love a true kind.
EMTV is currently outsourcing for suitable candidates who are eager to join our expanded EMTV productions team in the role of producers and or presenters. If you have a passion for creative writing, working with cameras, innovative, love entertainment, have a buzz in creativity, have a love for visual storytelling, great communication skills, and enthusiastic in learning new things, then we want you. This is your chance to join a vibrant team producing and writing for various local productions, especially for Kids Corner. Experience in TV producing or similar, or have a media background is preferable. Good strong work habits and the ability to work under pressure and meeting deadlines is a must. Attention and send your applications to MTV HR Manager, PO Box 443 Barocco NCD, or email to hr@mtv.com.pg. Applications can also be hand-delivered to our main office at Garden City Level 2 Barocco. Only shortlisted applicants will be contacted for an interview.
Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, the U.S. government shutdown is now the longest on record, leaving hundreds of thousands of workers without pay. The crisis began after Democrats refused to sign off on the president's demands for $8.5 billion to build a border wall with Mexico. Donald Trump's now backed down on his threat to declare a national emergency to get the funding, but only for the meantime.
Harvest time in the fields of Virginia, where farmers hit already by the trade war with Beijing are now feeling the bite of the political war in Washington. John Boyd Jr. has been receiving federal subsidies to compensate for not being able to export his soybean crops to China. A financial lifeline during difficult times, severed because of the shutdown.
Guess what? I don't need a damn wall. I need my money today. I need my money to plant my crop. I need my money to pay my labor. I need my money to continue my farming operation.
Federal workers have mounted protests across the country, and today was supposed to be payday. To break the political deadlock, this billionaire president has warned he'll declare a national emergency. But he's not ready to take that extraordinary step yet.
It's the easy way out, but Congress should do this. This is too simple. If they can't do it, I will declare a national emergency.
Invoking emergency powers could end the shutdown because it would allow Congress to pass spending bills without funding for the wall that Democrats and Republicans could both support. But the Trump White House would be violating the norms of U.S. government by spending money on the barrier without congressional approval. This constitutional showdown would inevitably be settled in the courts. But in the meantime, federal employees could return to work.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time. We pray today for your wisdom, for your answers, for your help.
Tonight at the White House, they prayed for this norm-busting president. But for now, he's paying reverence to more earthly powers, the checks and balances of the U.S. Constitution.
Thank you, Pastor, very much. I appreciate it.
Stop the shutdown! Stop the shutdown!
After getting blank paychecks today, this was the scene in Boston, a sea of fed-up federal workers calling for an end to the shutdown. Lynn Stratton is marching in Utah, blaming everyone in Washington.
I have enough for one more mortgage payment, and I got to go to CarMax tomorrow and sell my car.
Denise Carver was furloughed from the IRS before Christmas. She's getting her family's groceries tonight at a food pantry.
We don't have any money, and we don't have much food, so we're just trying to get by.
In Walton, Kentucky, the IRS's Chris Ratchford spent all of his savings on his baby girl born premature at 26 weeks. No paycheck today, no way for them to make ends meet.
I think I cried for the first 3 days of it because I knew we were already so behind.
Today we met the family of air traffic controller Paul Stearns. He continues to work with no pay, and in his line of work, they don't need this stress.
When we're in the tower, we want to be focused on the aircraft and the operation and the safety of the passengers. That's our #1 goal.
The McCabe's tell a familiar story, how they called the mortgage company asking for help and got none.
They said, well, we're really sorry that you're going through this, but you have 30 days to get your payment in full, and after 30 days, we report you to the creditors.
On Facebook, federal workers are sharing pictures of their empty pay stubs and selling what they can online. Necklaces, an earring set, only worn once, need money to pay bills because of the government shutdown.
For the 9th week in a row, yellow protesters in France are turning up in numbers to show their grievances. Some violence did occur in the French capital. Police say dozens have been questioned. The movement is protesting government's economic policy. Here's CNN with more.
A 9th Saturday in a row of demonstrations here in Paris. No sign that the Yellow Vest protest is running out of steam. Indeed, the figures this Saturday were up on last Saturday, an indication really of the energy that remains, the anger that remains within the ranks of this Yellow Vest movement. And the question, therefore, for the authorities, how or whether they can ever bring this to an end. Next week, the French government will launch a national debate. The idea is to get some sense more precisely of what the demands are, what the grievances are, in order that they can be addressed and possibly compromises found. But already the French government has ruled out institutional reform, and that now is what the Yellow Vests are asking for. They want more participative democracy. They want referendums. They want a greater say in the way the French state functions. sanctions. That, says the government, is not something that they're going to get. Very difficult to see then how they're finally going to be able to take the steam out of this protest that has surprised everyone by its longevity already.
Closer to home, Australian opposition leader Bill Shorten has described the summer of the Liberals as stuff-ups of scandals and self-reflection. The Labor leader committed an extra $50 million for research in healthcare. He made this statement this morning in Melbourne.
The government, the Liberals, have had a summer of stuff-ups and scandals. They're just focused on themselves. Whereas I'm focused on making sure that Australians get the best possible healthcare in the world. That's why we're so excited to make an announcement today that we want to find a cure for juvenile diabetes, for diabetes type 1. We are committing $50 million extra to research to help supplement and expand clinical trials and treatment. We should never forget in this country that the Australian science and research, our medical research, is world class.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un arrived in Beijing for a surprise 4-day visit. People hoped the meeting would pave the way for a second summit with US President Donald Trump to move forward with plans to denuclearize the Korean peninsula.
Well, this is Beijing Station, where Kim Jong-un's bulletproof train arrived in the early hours of this morning. He was then escorted in a huge police convoy down Chang'an Avenue to the Great Hall of the People for an official welcome. The big question is, why is he here? This latest visit has many people wondering whether a second summit with Donald Trump could occur in the next few weeks. Speculation is mounting that the Vietnamese capital, Hanoi, would be the location, and both men have expressed a willingness to meet. It's hoped that more dialogue could help revive negotiations on how to rid North Korea of its nuclear weapons. Those talks have broken down because both sides have completely different ideas on what needs to happen for that to occur. And for the Americans, there's also one other problem. Kim Jong-un isn't the only visitor here. A delegation of US officials are also in town negotiating with Beijing about the ongoing trade dispute. That means China has tremendous leverage. Donald Trump needs Beijing's help not only to solve the trade dispute, but also to solve the North Korean nuclear problem.
In the House of Commons, rebel Conservative MPs sided with the opposition in a vote to give British Prime Minister Theresa May just 3 days to come up with an alternative plan if her deal is rejected.
For a divided country, the Brexit debate is taking its toll. Not least for its Prime Minister.
The only way to avoid no deal is to vote for the deal.
It's been 4 weeks since Theresa May cancelled a vote of MPs on her Brexit deal with Brussels when it became clear she was going to suffer a heavy defeat. She promised to return in 2019 with a better deal, but nothing has materially changed.
The Prime Minister has spent the last week begging for warm words from EU leaders and achieved nothing. Not one single dot or comma has changed.
He opposes the deal that the EU say is the only deal, and that leaves him with no deal.
Another vote is planned for next Tuesday, but her deal seems to have garnered no more support over the Christmas break.
The debate on her deal restarts today without concessions. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is frozen in failure.
For the government, the 5-day debate could not have got off to a worse start.
So the ayes have it, the ayes have it.
With the House of Commons forcing Theresa May to produce an alternative Brexit plan within just 3 days, should her first be voted down.
It wasn't just a symbolic defeat. If Theresa May does have to produce a plan B, ordinary MPs will now get the chance to give it an overhaul, effectively taking her hands off the Brexit levers and rendering her a Prime Minister in name only.
Chukai Sports is next. All the details after the break. Don't go away.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the Highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the K6million Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge all for your needs, our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference centre that caters up to 200 people. K6million Resort. You know us when you're here.
I love the way you taste. I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true kind.
I love the quality. I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true kind.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind.
Let's sing it again.
I love my true kind. I love my true kind. The English rice, the very best rice, because we all love a true kind.
Technology is constantly evolving, creating opportunities to grow and connect globally. Telecom PNG provides you with the best innovative and flexible solutions. Our wide-ranging product portfolio includes
fixed line business system, fixed broadband internet service, metro fiber network, VSAT service.
You can trust us to take care of your business solution needs.
Telecom PNG, always there.
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Tukai Sports. To cricket overseas, Black Caps' next opponent, India, has suffered a shock defeat to Australia in their one-day in Sydney. A masterful century by Rohit Sharma wasn't enough as Australia's pace bowlers ensured a morale-boosting victory.
Embracing in their retro canary outfits from the 1980s, Australia put in a vintage performance to defeat India.
No, Maxwell's got this one. He won't drop that one, Maxwell.
The Indians were tasked with 289 for victory, nicely set up by lower order hitting from Marcus Stoinis.
Stoinis gets the ball he wanted and dispatches it.
And while the Aussies were paying tribute to their past with their attire, it was the fresh faces in their bowling unit making the biggest impact. The prized wicket of Indian skipper Virat Kohli getting the home team off to the best possible start. And then 2 for 4 was 3 for 4.
Oh, they like that too. And Paul Wilson says yes, that's 3.
The collapse bringing the calming head of MS Dhoni to the crease, linking up with Rohit Sharma, who seemed unfazed by the collapse around him. The pair beginning a revival after being 3 for 4, they put on 137 runs to get their run chase back on course.
He's absolutely smashed that out of the ground, the last ball of the over.
But as key man Dhoni fell for 52, the asking rate in the chase climbed, as young Aussie paceman Jai Richardson reached career best figures. Sharma was the glue in India's run chase, but his 22nd century wasn't enough to prevent India from going 1-0 down. The new-look Australian side certainly rolling back the years in a clinical one-day victory.
Now to the Premier League, where Liverpool are back to winning ways, extending their lead at the summit and putting the pressure on their title rivals.
After suffering 2 straight defeats, Liverpool were keen to get their title chase back on track.
Mane was deep, and it sails straight behind.
A sense of hope for Brighton, who have the best home record of any team outside the top 6, but that counts for little when coming up against the Premier League leaders.
It is a penalty.
A clear foul from Pascal Gross, giving Mo Salah the perfect chance to put the visitors ahead.
It's Salah, and it's 1-0 Liverpool, powered in.
Salah's strike, his 17th of the season, and enough to edge out Brighton. A narrow win, not that Jurgen Klopp cared. His Reds surging 7 points clear of Manchester City.
I would say that was the most mature performance we played so far. It was just brilliant because we were not brilliant today.
One team that did manage some moments of brilliance was Chelsea.
Pedro's onto it, and Pedro scores for Chelsea.
9 minutes in, and the Blues were ahead. They were pegged back momentarily with an equaliser from Newcastle's Kieran Clark, but there was no stopping this Willian winner.
Willian, oh beauty! What a super goal!
2-1, and Newcastle left in a relegation dogfight, while Chelsea moved 6 points clear of 5th placed Arsenal, who suffered a shock loss against West Ham.
Rice!
19-year-old Declan Rice finding the top corner, his first ever top-flight goal, enough to grab all 3 points from this London derby.
The NFL playoffs began in the US today in Los Angeles. The Rams hosted the Dallas Cowboys, while the Indianapolis Colts took on the Kansas City Chiefs in the snow.
With temperatures below zero, the underground heating was the only thing stopping the Arrowhead Stadium field from freezing, although the Chiefs did their best to fire things up quickly for the home crowd. Neither the snow nor the Indianapolis defence could slow the man they call the Cheetah down. Despite the scorching 17-0 scoreline, the crowd felt a chill when their star quarterback Patrick Mahomes went down.
Comes up hole in that knee.
To make matters worse, a rare Chiefs special teams blunder helped Indianapolis finally get on the board.
Wow, that is some mistake.
Just as the fans were looking elsewhere for entertainment, Mahomes, who's making his postseason debut, proved his knee was well and truly okay.
Looks like a touchdown to me.
The Colts were never going to catch the Chiefs. Their 5-game winning streak and season brought to an end, 31-13. Kansas through to their first championship game in 26 years. By comparison, things were much closer and warmer in LA. The Rams with a 13-point lead over the Dallas Cowboys at half-time.
He is gone. Touchdown, Rams.
But the Cowboys were right back in it after this 44-yard bullet.
Gallup, what a catch!
The following touchdown and 2-point conversion made it a one-possession game. Both teams scored again, and with 2 minutes on the clock, there were 8 points in it. But in the end, the Rams kept their season alive.
Another first down, down he goes, and this thing is over.
Final score, 30-22.
More sporting action after the break. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports.
Let the cold misty mountains of the Highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge all for your needs, our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference center that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.